Hello and welcome. My name is Sheetal Story. I'm a medium, an astrologer, and a soul coach. Today I want to talk to you about mediumship. What is mediumship? I keep getting some interesting questions from clients that come to see me for readings, and I think it's really important for me to sort of spread the word of what mediumship is and what it isn't. So mediumship is the ability of a medium to connect into spirit on the other side who have crossed over, who lived in this lifetime, who had physical bodies in this lifetime that are now on the other side and are tethered to us by love and light. And those spirits love to use a conduit, a telephone, if you will, which is a medium, to give words of encouragement, to let them know that they're at peace, and to heal from the other side. It is a really beautiful process. What I love is that as a medium, I get to learn lessons from every person that sits in my chair as a client, and from every spirit that comes through to speak with their loved one. I get to learn from their life what was important to them, what we take for granted, and perhaps what we put importance in that isn't really important. As a medium, my job is to help people understand that their loved ones are in love and light, that they go and they are at peace. As soon as they cross, as soon as they leave their physical body, they do go into love and light, and they are received by a loved one who is already in spirit. It is so beautiful. You never go alone. There's always someone there waiting for them, always, 100% of the time. Once they cross over to the other side, they are tethered to their loved ones by love. They come back to show them that they are at peace, that they are watching them, that they still exist, and to not forget about them, to share their stories and spread their life story to the younger generation so that they are not forgotten. Their legacy is their memory, after all. So we live in a world of energy. That's science. And energy cannot be created or destroyed. That's a fundamental principle of science. So when you come into this world, there's an energy that is making your body work, making your heart beat, the synapses of the nerves in your brain, down your spinal cord, into your body, your muscles working. There's energy there. Your body is powered by your soul. And we can actually see that energy. There's a thing called Kirlian photography that takes a picture of your aura and your energy. And that energy is sort of the storehouse of your emotions, your experiences. All the people you've come into contact with leave a residual energy in that spirit. Cool, right? And when you die, where does that energy go? Well, we know energy can't be created or destroyed. So that energy now moves into the afterlife, or the other side, or heaven as we like to call it. Whatever it is for you, it is another world that actually is on top of this world, but it's an energetic world. So we in the physical form have physical bodies that now lower our vibration, and now we feel things like fear, anger, jealousy, things that are kind of come from fear. There's only two main emotions in this world. What I know for sure is that they are love, and that is fear. So if you're not coming from love, you're coming from fear. And that's something we use a lot in coaching, because you're talking about where are you coming from with that. If you're not feeling good, you're coming from a fear. Where is that fear, and how do we change that fear? Because fear in itself isn't real. It isn't real. It's a construct of the mind, and it's a construct that our ego creates to keep us in that place of knowing, not moving out of that box. And our life lessons in this life is to overcome those. And as we do, we experience immense expansion beyond our greatest dreams. So if you think about running a marathon, after you complete your first marathon, there is this endorphin release, this high. This is an expansion of the spirit, because you've finally achieved something that was so big, and it actually puts your physical body through so much to have that happen. Now, I haven't ever run a marathon, but I can feel it when spirit tells me that they ran marathons, and that's something that they really love to do, and the feeling of that, the elation of that. I have friends that run marathons too, and I can see that there's so much expansion. And after the first one, they want to do more. That is inherent to the human spirit. We want to do more. Once we achieve a goal, we need another goal behind it, because the universe is always helping us expand. And we as humans want to expand. So once we go out of this world, what happens? Our spirit is received on the other side by someone in love and light who is waiting for us. Once we go into the other side, we have a life review, and we review all the things that we've done in our lifetime, and then the ramifications of our actions out to the people who love us, and out from there and there and there. So there's actually cycles that are created in our lives from our actions, and we are also living cycles that we have inherited from our parents or loved ones, or if you're adopted, or your family, whoever raised you, whoever your people in your life. There are cycles that are created in our lifetime, and we have to take responsibility for that as we go to the other side. So spirit, as they start to heal their life and start to look over the things that they did that maybe were not the best, or maybe things that they could have done better, or maybe people took in the wrong way, they will come back now in a loving way from spirit to show that they are still here and try to heal those wounds, or try to set right some cycles that are in play. An example of that is I had a client the other day where she was having a hard time in her marriage, and it came out in the tarot cards. So I use the tarot cards as a vehicle to focus the psychic to get some information for my clients. And then she had a mediumship reading on top of that. So in the tarot reading, it came out that she had a really hard time in her marriage. And in the mediumship reading, it came out that she had chosen her husband because they have a history in the family of choosing men that provide for them, but they're such hard workers because they need to provide for their woman, provide for their wives and their family, and so they work themselves to death. And as a result of that, they have very unhappy marriages. And so the cycle there was for her to understand how to save money and not spend money on things that were brand names and all those things that she really loved, that maybe saving up for those things, it's okay to have them, but save for them and budget for them. And then also to heal the relationships in her family by showing her husband, listen, we don't need to have all this money. You don't have to work these kinds of hours. You don't have to do 2 jobs. You know, what can we do to live within our means so I can see you more and we can have a happier marriage? Hard, right? How do you choose less money for more time? For her, it was a really tough choice because she held on to those brand names to give her some meaning, to give her some value. And it's tough because she herself didn't value herself. So it came down to a fear of not being enough. Interesting, right? As you start to delve into those things, it becomes really important to look at what's causing this. And spirit was coming, the spirit of her grandfather lovingly was coming in to show her the cycle that's in play in her life and how he was trying to help her heal it because he was part of that cycle himself. Oh, so beautiful. It's hard. It's a hard lesson for her. And having that visit with the medium made her see some things, but she wasn't willing to actually look at them. And a lot of things didn't change in her life for a long time after that. So a medium is only as good as the information you're willing to receive. Does that make sense? I hope it does. A good medium is somebody who is articulate, who is diplomatic, but is able to convey the information across, someone who listens without judgment, someone you feel really comfortable with. And I think a good medium should also be within your budget. It doesn't have to break the bank, be thousands of dollars. There are mediums out there that are charging that, and that is fine. That is fine. If that's something that you can afford, great. If something about them is calling to you and that works in your budget, absolutely that's the medium for you. But if you don't have that kind of money, or you don't feel that you're attracted to them and you don't want a reading from them, that's okay too. I encourage all of my clients to suss out a bunch of people. And if I can't fit you into my schedule, then I give you a list of my fellow colleagues that I trust and know that they're so good at, that maybe that's somebody that resonates with you more. Really investigate. If you're wanting to go see a medium, investigate them, check out them on social media, or ask about their references, or maybe talk to clients that they've had and see if that's somebody that's going to work for you. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about today was signs and symbols from spirit. If you were to pass into spirit today, what are some of the things that you would show your loved ones still here in this physical world that you were still okay, that you were actually there living their life with them through their experiences? Is it dimes, quarters, rainbows? I have a beautiful client who her beautiful daughter has crossed into spirit, and her daughter sends her sunflowers, and she takes pictures of these sunflowers every time she sees them and posts them on social media. I love that. I never see any sunflowers except from her social media feed. I don't see any of these symbols because they're not for me. They're not my loved ones coming to me and talking to me. It's interesting when I have clients come in and say, you know, I had this beautiful reading the other day where this gentleman came in from spirit, and it was a grandfather to come to speak to his beautiful young granddaughter who was sitting in front of me, and he came to show that he sends her quarters, because every time he used to come and visit, or she would go visit him, he would always fish out his quarters and give them to her. And so quarters were a symbol from him. And they said, so you find a lot of quarters from your grandfather? And she goes, how do you know? And I said, because he's telling me. I don't know. I'm not Googling. Even if I Googled you, that wouldn't come out, right? He's telling me that he's sending you quarters, and you have bowls full of quarters at home. She goes, yeah, I just get them. He's like, he's wanting me to tell you to put it in the bank because you're not making any interest on that. She goes, he was a banker. It's like, so you can't make this stuff up, right? I'm telling you, it is so lovely. It is. We live in this energetic world, and it is absolutely beautiful. So when you see those signs and symbols and spirit is sending you these things, acknowledge it and say thank you. And if you know who it's from, say thank you, Grandpa. I see you. Thank you for showing me you're still here. We are tethered to our loved ones by love in spirit, and they continue to show us and show up in our lives. You don't need a medium to know that your loved ones are there. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is to acknowledge the signs and symbols that show up in your life, the synchronicities that you keep seeing over and over again, that the universe is trying to tell you. And when I say the universe, I say that spirit is part of that universe, that loving energy that's trying to help us, trying to push us forward, trying to show us that we came here to do so much more than just be in fear. So acknowledge those signs from spirit and say thank you, and watch how your life expands. Wishing you so much love and happiness in your life. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.